Welcome, my friends. The night of the nights has come. The night of the nights. Open your heart and your mind. Move to the rhythm and dance into your own beautiful reality. Beautiful reality. Feel free and expect the unexpected.
Hi guys, this is the advisor and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to explain to you why the government of the day should take full responsibility for the Cherry Tree Lane massacre. And when I say the government of the day, it would be any government of the day, whether PNP or JLP, because both sides are equally as incompetent at dealing with the crime monster, and whichever party had been running the government on that day when the massacre happened, it would have still happened. So let me make that clear. But before I get into the matter, there is something I need to clear up. Yesterday I posted a video about the Beechcraft King Air 350 aircraft that the government had acquired in 2018 to fight crime, to assist in the fight against illegal gun trafficking. Now, in the comment section below that video, there was a few rebuttal trying to explain to me where I am wrong and when my post is antagonistic toward the government, and that there are certain things which were not factual. Now, I'm going to address those. Now, one of the things they had said, they tried to say that I was lying, that the plane, that we no longer had the plane. Well, let me tell you, I never said we do not still have the plane. I'm saying I said that from my source, people who I contacted at the Norman Manley's International Airport had said that they had not seen the plane for a while. Nor was it seen at Up Park Camp, and I said that there was some suggestion that it may be at the Ian Fleming Airport. I think that's over in Boscobel or somewhere there. And I asked my viewers and subscribers to tell me if they know anything about the plane. I also called on the government to clear up the matter for me, so I never said we didn't have the plane. Second thing, they had said that I was wrong about the 24 million as the price of the plane. But let me say this, I got my source. I sourced my information from the Gleaner, the Observer, and the Jamaica Information Service. And we can all admit that these are extremely reliable sources. So if the Gleaner tells me that it was 24 million, I will go by it, even if it is the wrong figure. Because we can all admit that the Gleaner is an extremely reliable source. But to top it off, I got this information also from the JIS. Who owns the JIS? Who controls the JIS? The Jamaican government. So I'm not saying my figure of 24 million is correct, but based on the fact that I got this figure from reliable sources, I will not take responsibility if that information turns out to be false. They say the actual figure is actually 8 million. Now, 8 million US dollars is really 1/3 of the figure I had put out at 24 million. But is that really here or there? Okay, let us assume that, okay, we still have the plane, alright. Let us say we give them that. We now confirm that we have the plane, alright, fine. And let us confirm, say, yes, the plane was 8 million instead of 24. How does that affect the grand picture? Does that change the fact that from 2018 until 2024, that plane has not found a single spent shell? Does those two pieces of information being false, if there were, how does it change anything in the grand scheme of things? And I'm going to go further with this one. From my research, it takes a minimum crew of 5 to operate this plane. It takes a pilot, a co-pilot, a separate navigator, and then 2 data analysts to manage the scanning and the radar and all the different information that the plane will be picking up while in flight, and these people to analyze it and get whatever information they're getting from it and to transmit that information back to the ground and all of that. So a minimum crew of 5. Now, if this plane is to be effective, it has to fly every single day, at least once every 24 hours. Now, this plane takes at least 100,000 Jamaican dollars worth of fuel per flight. So when you combine, this is going to take at least a lieutenant and a second flight lieutenant as pilot and co-pilot, plus the other rest of senior officers who is junior commissioned rank officers who will be on that flight daily. Now, at that cost, for 5 men, at those rate of pay, plus the fuel, flying every single day, how much you think that cost? And then there's the ground crew. Do not forget. Because every time that plane lands, the wheels have to be checked, the wings have to be checked, every single nut and bolt around the plane has to be checked, the tires and everything, and they have to go through it thoroughly and prepare it for the next flight. Not like a car where you just put it down, you just drive it, step out of it, go about your business, come in and just drive it, open the door and just come in and drive it again. These are extremely sophisticated. This is an extremely sophisticated piece of machinery, and it contains some extremely sophisticated cutting edge tools on board. And the specialists who operate these tools have to be specially paid. And do not remember that the mechanics who maintain this plane on the ground had to have been sent overseas, given specialist training and given special pay. But running this plane is not cheap. So I am assuming that this plane don't run every day, because there is no way that the government could afford to fly this plane every single day. So this plane is not as effective as we would want people to believe. So for all of you who think that I was trying to fight down this government, or I was trying to be a busybody, or just wanted to be a star in somebody's sign, definitely not. It takes millions of dollars to run this plane for a year. And whatever the running cost that we have been running for this plane, what is the result? What have we gotten for all of that effort spent keeping and maintaining this plane, maintaining ground crew, maintaining flight crew, maintaining the analytical crew who manage the sophisticated instruments on board, and those on the ground who scan and who analyze these to get the required data? What is the results have we gotten from it to date? And that is what you must think about when you're going to call me a busybody, okay? Now, on to today's topic. I am saying yes, the death of those people in Cherry Tree Lane and the injury of all those people in Cherry Tree Lane and virtually all the people who have died from the gun, apart from those in domestic matters like wife and husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, I lay them all at the foot of this government. Just as the way of all I lay before this government came in, all those from the previous government that happened in all the killing that happened in their time, I blame it at lay the blame at their feet too. So this is not like me I gotta tell you, say, this is just about Andrew Holness and his regime. Because I am quite sure that if the PNP was in power today, Cherry Tree Lane would have still happened, and I would have still been making this post. Because this was never about party politics. This is about the fact that we have always had troglodytes running government. Now, what is a troglodyte? If you look at the screen, this is what a troglodyte looks like. And a troglodyte is not a real creature. It is a mythical creature created by Hollywood. And there was a movie out in the 60s called Jason and the Argonauts. For some of you in your 60s or so, who used to go Regal and Carib back in the day, you might have remembered this movie, Jason and the Argonauts. And why I decided to use this troglodyte as an example is this. In the movie, the troglodyte, which is part of a really maybe 40-foot giant, even when the humans run behind it, it noticed say that the humans were no longer in its sight and it couldn't see them. And it see where the humans run and go behind it, you know. But this creature was so dumb that it didn't even know to turn around to see the creatures. It just kept looking in front of it and look left and look right and look left and look right and couldn't find them, even though all it had to do was just turn around. The creature wasn't even that smart. And I cannot find anything in real life except amoebas that is as dumb to the crime fighting situation as these troglodytes. And let me elaborate on this about the troglodyte. If you were to take this troglodyte and you put this troglodyte in a room filled with all of the most sophisticated instruments that is humanly possible, do you think we would have a better crime or situation, our crime fighting results would have been any different? No, it could never be any different. Because you can't put retarded people with sophisticated instruments and expect it to still work. Because let me tell you something, guys. No matter how sophisticated instrument you have, if you haven't got sophisticated minds to operate those sophisticated instruments, it's all a waste. When the government went and bought that plane, as a matter of fact, they didn't need that plane. And that plane, we find out now, and it is clear that it was unnecessary. But dumb as they were, this government figured that as long as you had sophisticated equipment, those would be the magic bullet to fix the crime situation in Jamaica. And that is the thinking, that is the rationale of a troglodyte. Because it is not sophisticated. No instrument, no matter how sophisticated, can work on its own. Because let me tell you, the most sophisticated instrument that we needed to fight crime is not anything that is manufactured in the most sophisticated place, factory, anywhere on planet Earth. We already had the most sophisticated instrument that we needed to solve crime. Yes, we already had it. No amount of money or no amount of equipment was going to help us unless we were able to utilize the most sophisticated instrument that we had. What is the most sophisticated instrument? Well, let me tell you what it is. It is this. Yes, look at this thing good. This is the most sophisticated instrument and the one instrument that could help us. This is it. The human brain. The human brain. Now, when you take the human brain and put the human brain to work in the right way, you do not need all these sophisticated instruments. People get these sophisticated instruments and put them to work as an excuse for not really putting their brain itself to work. In other words, troglodyte plus sophisticated instruments equals 0. But a human brain without sophisticated instrument can achieve anything it sets out, because this is where creativity and innovation steps in. I remember a few years ago, one of them ministers of national security, the same one who ball out say him want divine intervention, even though God never ever intervened in a crime situation in Jamaica, him feel him was going to get some special favor and God did going to grant him some special favor. All now we know say God never turned the black eye and look upon him. But that's another story. Now that same Peter Bunting, he had said that lunacy is doing the same thing. Keep repeating the same thing and expecting to get different results. That was coming from a man who was doing the same thing and did never get no results and kept doing the same thing. Coming from him, I don't know who write that in his speech, but boy, it's ironic to hear that come from a man who never knew what he was doing. And now I'm going to tell you why our Minister of National Security and former de facto head of the now defunct Stone Crusher gang is to be blamed. And of course, we can't blame him without blaming the man who put him there, because the man who put him there to F things up is just as equally responsible as him. And that man, as the Prime Minister, is quite comfortable with what he has failed to achieve since he's been there. Now, for a moment, let's get back to what Peter Bunting had said about lunacy is about doing the same thing and keep expecting different results. Andrew Holness and his government, no, let's do the Prime Minister himself now. He kept doing so day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. So never achieve nothing. It may cause an immediate drop of crime in a specific area, as it always will, but it just pushed the crime over into more quieter areas where there is no so. And no matter year after year, nothing was happening. He kept it up and kept it up and kept it up to this blessed day. It was the opposition who had to step in and say no more. Why? Because the opposition saw where it was not helping. Now, back to the Cherry Tree Lane specifics. When at the press conference that Andrew Holness held the day after that massacre, he had the gall to be saying that it is the opposition which caused crime not to have dropped, because the opposition fought against and caused them not to continue with Zoso. But for goodness sake, you had Zoso for several years and it was reaching anything. All the opposition was saying, try something different. Or you blame them for them not letting you consider with the same bull manure, which wasn't achieving anything. Now, how rich is that? So, the government has failed because they are a set of troglodytes. But don't get me wrong, you know. When the opposition had opposed Zoso, they didn't do it because they had any plans or they could have made any difference. They did it to play politics and to pander to a few of their own supporters. So, right in Jamaica, we're just between the devil and the deep blue sea. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this plain. I guarantee you that if these people were using their brain, they wouldn't need that plane. They wouldn't need anything as sophisticated as that. All they had to use, because there are lots and lots of creative ways in which the crime situation would have been resolved without putting certain things and certain legislation and certain instruments into the mix. And let me tell you something. You see, as I tell all of my videos, you see, politics and religion is the two areas in which people try to control people's minds. For example, you see, when you don't want to do something, you try and do theatrics, smoke and mirrors, sleight of hands. If you're a magician and you're a samphire man, to try and make people believe, say you do something. And now I'm going to give you one example of that. And here is how it works now. I remember Horace Chang was in Parliament in the sectoral debate in 2023 trying to push through new legislations that would help him to fight crime. Now, just like how the plane was just buying time, pushing through new laws is also just there to buy time, to pretend as if you're concerned and you want to do something. The people who really want to do something about crime, you don't need no new laws. You don't need no new instruments, more than the basics. You don't need anything more than the will to get things done. You need creativity. You need to have an innovative mind. You need to have a sense of purpose. But the most important thing you're going to need also, apart from having an excellent brain and the ability to use it, you need a big set of balls. You need something like where ram goat have between them foot. Horace Chang and Andrew Holness and the whole of them look like them have ovaries. I swear to God is ovaries. Them little coat you have. But here's the sad part. If an election is held tomorrow and the government changes, which to me at the moment I must add seems unlikely, but if it were to happen, it would be same old, because Mark Golding I got just put in him friend and offer him the security portfolio as a reward for services rendered, and we are back to square one. Where we go from here, I don't know, but these are just some things that we have got to think on. So guys, thank you for visiting my channel. Like, share, leave a comment below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.